Hi, well, welcome to Say What with Juan Chris. This is episode 13. I'm Waht. Chris is not available at the moment, so we are just going to get started as usual, as per usual. The topics are going to start at about 5 minutes in, so going ahead and get what you need to get, file into the room, get your water, get your wine, get your food, prepare to be entertained. So hello, Summer of Dragonfly. Hello, Anissa French. Hello, Baba Banky Blinky Binky Blanket. Hello, Baba Baby Blinky Blanket. If you would like to tell us what your name is, that'd be great. Hi, Jessie Lee. Welcome to my moderators, you guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Wow, there's only 6 people in the room. You know what? It's because I'm not, announcing it on Instagram. I think people are forgetting. I think Chris is announcing it on Instagram. At least I hope she is. Hi, Halima. Baba Baby Blinky wants to talk. Can we talk about Aiden Leo's wacky murder, or are we keeping it light? Rest in peace. I don't know who Aiden is, but yeah, I want to keep it. I always want to keep it light. This cannot turn into morning tea where people are like telling me that they're disappointed in me. Sorry, I'm looking for my fan. Oh, I bought a fan. It's a yes. Hold on, I'll be back. I'm gonna be a lady. Also, you guys, I got new glasses, as you can see. I tried something new. I did something different, something that I would normally never do. Is get these kind of octagon shaped glasses. So there's that. Hi, Tiana. Tiana's here. Don't forget to give this. Oh, JWs are my initials. Oh, you're JW as well. Or you're not JW. Is JW somebody else? Because there's already a JW. Hi, Marie. If you're okay with us calling you Baba Baby Blinky, then that's fine. Hello. Here we go. Do you guys have that store Daiso in your area? It's like a either Korean or Japanese, like 99-cent store, but it isn't 99 cents. So there's that. Okay, you guys. Whew. 30 people in the room, 3 minutes in. Let's get some thumbs up. I don't exactly know if this video has any, but please do. Please do. Please thumbs it up. This is a wig. I enjoy it. It's like my short wig. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for being here for this look. Thank you for being here for it. Yes. It's my first not my first human hair, but in this iteration of my life where I'm buying wigs, it's my first human hair. All the other ones are synthetic. This one is real, is human hair, and I can absolutely feel the difference. I'm going to eventually graduate to doing my hair. Oh, Marie, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. We totally appreciate it. Thank you, Tiana. Yeah, this is like 8 inches. It's curled. I think it's really cute. Thank you. All right. So let's see. We're at 4 minutes and we're at 4:13. So we're almost about to start. I'm going to take another bite. So I was on the web, and there was this recipe for like a burrito bowl inspired meal that includes spaghetti squash. And since like the spaghetti squash is just growing in the garden these days, I have to make a lot of spaghetti squash. Hi, Kathleen. So this is like cabbage, pinto beans, guac, like cilantro, lime juice, salt and pepper. And yeah, so it's a whole thing. All right. I think Chris is ready. Okay, she is ready. So I'm going to bring Chris in. And she's ready. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome to Say What with Waht and Chris. I'm Waht.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome to this week's episode. This is week 13, episode 13, and we've got some interesting topics to talk about with you guys on today. Okay, so the first topic that we are gonna talk about is this. So that is our friend Salma Hayek. You remember her from movies in the 90s, such as Tango or that vampire movie she was in. She was also in like maybe a musical from the aughts. But we all know her, right? She's our favorite Mexican.
I love her. I love her. Yeah, she's amazing. And also Lebanese origin. Oh yeah, honey. Salma Hayek. That is a Lebanese, honey. Her father was a Lebanese immigrant, Lebanese Mexican.
Okay.
She's immigrant from Lebanon to Mexico.
She is Mexican and Lebanese. So this is Chris's peoples. So Salma Hayek has a pet owl. Okay. This owl's name is Hedwig. Just kidding. That's from Harry Potter. But she has this pet owl that apparently she meditates with. And if you follow her on any of her Instagrammery, you would see that she is always with this owl. It's her buddy. And I think people are kind of talking ish about it, but honestly, like, I think it's kind of cool and beautiful at the same time. Like, an owl is just a bird, you guys. I mean, and unless you're like, what's his face from 90 Day Fiance, who are like, oh, you're having owls everywhere. It's witchcraft. Like, it's just a beautiful bird that people have as pets. And also Salma Hayek is a gracious woman because she went to Africa and fed hungry children from her teta. Chris, what do you have to say?
I did not know that. She did?
Yeah. So when she had her baby and she was like, not on a world tour, but she was like doing something like somewhere, and there were these children that were starving, and she's like, I've got milk, and she like breastfed like people's children. So to me, she's a savior.
Oh my God, I just want to cry. That's amazing. Like that's amazing. Like first of all, okay, so many things to say because I could deep dive into this. First of all, if I have a baby and I'm someone who I've already thought about this. I'm someone who naturally makes a lot of milk, because it's like one of those things like breastfeeding, like it can be either easy for some people to like latch or the babies to latch, or it's obviously also could be very difficult and challenging. Also, then the mother has to like make the appropriate amount of milk and, like it's like a whole process. So if for any reason I'm blessed, I will freeze. I'm going to freeze my breast milk and try and be able to like give it to people is what I was going to anyway, because all people have issues. Having said that, I'm only saying that maybe I would have a good time with the breastfeeding just because I have such big boobs. Like, like there's got to be like a bunch of factories in there to like make milk. But anyway, moving on. Salma Hayek, she's just married to a billionaire like Francois Pinault. Oh, why? No, honey, she is married to a billionaire. They have a child, Valentina. She lives in London. I looked at the owl thing because I was like really into the owl thing. And I remember being in high school or being in grade school and we had to dissect an owl pellet. And so then I was like deep dived into like, well, what is the care of an owl? And is it even legal to have an owl? It's actually not illegal. It's actually not legal for most people in America unless you have certain provisions and certain licenses. They also are absolutely a nightmare to take care of because they eat, they poop all the time. And then at the end of the day, they do a special kind of poop where they get rid of everything in their bowels in such a way that's even worse than regular poop. Do you know what I'm trying to say? In like the best delicate way possible, just the worst situation. And the pellets, they're just throwing up. They're always throwing up bones. They're carnivores also. They're like 100% carnivores. Like you have to feed them little rodents and stuff like that. Now, having said all of this, she is so rich that I'm sure, just has access to like literally whatever she wants in her lifestyle. So she loves it. She's an animal lover. Obviously she probably has, people on staff that are professional animal handlers, because like, that's what she's into. And so if it's not obvious, I'm I completely envy Salma Hayek. Oh, what a dream. I think she's so gorgeous. I think she's aging so gracefully, so well. I think that she's just like, she's very curvy, but like healthy and curvy, I just feel like lives her best life, acts what she wants, does whatever she wants. She's so sexy, but she's just like so rich, and it's not that I envy the rich part. It's just that like, I want an owl, and so like, I have to be able to afford all the owl keepers. I can't just like clean up their like, and they're like every day, and like feed them little rats.
You're right, Chris. You're right. Yeah, I completely get from you right now that you're more jealous of the fact that she's rich because you want an owl than just like being rich in general. I would like to be wealthy so that I don't have to worry about singing for my supper. Because right now she sings for that supper. So that's the reason why I want to be. Will I have a pet owl? No. What will I visit tigers? Yes. Will I go to whatever his name is, zoo in Florida, and just visit those tigers and then talk to him, and maybe he'd want to put me in his harem? He wouldn't because I was Black, but I'm always interested in a situation. This is a complete tangent where like some man is like, I will take care of you. Worry not for nothing. And I'm okay. Like, can I have my own house? And if they're like, yes. And I'm just like, so all I have to do is have sex with you? And they're like, yes. And I'd be like, okay, go.
So you're talking about Tiger King, but you're not talking about Joe Exotic. You're talking about Doc Ansel. But then you said Florida, which is where Carole Baskin has her rescue. You meant Doc's rescue, which I think is like, he's the one that also like did stuff with Britney Spears and stuff like that. I think he's like in the southeast or like Alabama or Georgia. Am I wrong or am I right?
Oh, I don't know. To me, I thought he was in Florida. I thought he was in like the Panhandle.
That's where Carole Baskin is. That's where a big cat rescue is, honey. So, okay. But what if that man also was like, okay, I'll pay for you your whole life. You're going to get a tit job. I'm also going to change your name from the most beautiful ethnic Garifuna name, Wahima, to Shirley. No, I'm going to call you Shirley. You're going to get a tit job. Are you going to live there with him? Shirley? Big titted Shirley? You know what I'm saying? Before you say it, really think about it. He's like,
is my dad dead? My dad is dead in this scenario.
Oh. Wow. Says a lot, doesn't it, guys? Hey, guys in the audience, that comment said a lot. Okay, so without the shame or whatever guilt or whatever you have, or like looking your dad in the face of selling your soul and putting huge rock hard balloon style basketball tits in your body and changing your God-given name to Shirley, you would consider it.
Yeah. I don't need anything different to happen in my life right now. Like, I fantasize about just like cashing out my 401k and just moving to an island and living there for the rest of my life. I mean, I would obviously keep my stocks, but like cash out my other stuff? Absolutely. Get a farm selling like coconuts or whatever? Yeah. Not coconuts. I'd make bread like my grandmother. Okay. Anywho, so
we do not advocate selling out your 401k. This is not financial advice for anyone, but keep a hold of your money and try and make as much money come to you at the end of your life in retirement as possible. So don't listen to this person. Okay, go on.
Also, if you for one moment thought that I was trying to give anybody out there advice, you, but the people out there, if you're like, oh, wow, you're speaking directly to me, like you need other friends, because that was in no way saying you should do that. It was more so of like a fantasy of mine, because I just be so over it. Okay. So another interesting thing that Chris and I randomly had a conversation about without even this thing even being in our sphere, we hung out last week at a undisclosed location. And an undisclosed situation occurred in which Chris put all over Instagram, even though I am no longer on Instagram. I just randomly saw this thing, but this is another thing that we saw. Why can't we eat food after a fly has been on it? I know it's supposed to be nasty, but I never knew the reason why. That's what it, wait, hold on, let me move this comment. I never knew the reason why help. And that is from none other than the beautiful Tamar Braxton. Let me just say one story about her. I was in the audience of Bethany's short-lived like daytime television show. Can't remember what it was called. And Tamar was the host. Tamar was the guest. And I stared at her the entire time because I was taken aback at how beautiful she was. And she stared back at me. And I know she was probably like, this fucking crazy bitch. Why is she keep on staring at me? I couldn't keep my eyes off of her. She was so beautiful. But anyway, so Chris and I had this conversation before this post even was on the Shade Room, in which I was outside. It was early morning and we were eating breakfast sandwiches made by Chris. And I was like, I put it down for like a second. I looked over to say something, Chris, and I looked back and there was a big ass fly on my fucking food. So I was like, ugh. So I took the top layer, like the top sandwich, like the top of the sandwich, and I just ate it open. And I was like, can't eat that. And Chris says to me, oh, because a fly landed on it? And I said, yeah. And then she said, but it must be hard eating outside, was like her comment. And I was just like, well, you know, different folks with different strokes for different folks. You know, I'm learning a lot in my older years that a lot of things that I was raised with are not normal for other people. For example, sitting on public toilet seats. Didn't know people actually did that until I was in college. I thought everybody hovered like me. Anyways, so I didn't say anything, and then Chris sent me that, and it was just funny because like I was just like, yeah, like I was always taught that food that has flies, that's why you kill flies when they get in the house, and when you're eating outside, like you have a paper towel to cover your food or someone to watch your food or like whatever. Chris, go.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I thought you were ready to say something. Sorry.
No, I was not at all. Like I was gonna say the reason why I the only thing I had to say about this, like the article is the reason why you should not eat food that flies have land on is because they land on like excretion. No, that's what the word feces all the time, right? They love a feces. Excrement. And so that's what thing they're landing on. And for some reason they throw up like upon landing. And so there's just so much happening disgustingly. And also it's just, they're so rude. Like also like, how dare you? Like it's our food. Like you didn't do anything for this food. You think you just land on something? Like who are you, America? You just land on it and claim as your own, like manifest destiny. Like who are you? Like, yeah, white Americans, Wall, like you just land on something with like a flag. No, while I'm talking. Whatever. Like, no, you're not. You know, like I was here first and I got this, you know, like this has been mine. You know what I'm saying? So like you find your own or I'll kill you. It's like reverse. It's like every time I kill a fly, it's like the Native Americans saying, no, not today, Satan.
I have to really think about what she just said, so I'm not going to co-sign it.
I'm joking, obviously.
She's the princess of I'm like, she'd be really good about it. But yeah, so this is why. Because flies land on shit. And then they come and land on your food. More importantly, the place where we were had horses. So not only was this a fly that was near a horse, but also near a horse's shit. And a horse's body. And a horse's tail. You know, they don't live very long, but these are horse flies. You know what I'm saying? And so like, it's just so interesting to me. You know, that they land on all this stuff and then they come and land on your food and people are just like, well, I mean, that's what a barbecue is. And I'm like, oh no. There are some people who like, if the food is left out unattended, open to the elements, then we don't eat it. You know, usually what happens is that the food is out and there's like a covering that you put on it. If the covering isn't correct, then you don't eat from it is how I was taught. Also, it's the same thing at work. When we order food at work, I've noticed that so many people, they go and they take food. And even the last person in line won't cover up the dish. They'll just leave it open to the elements. And then, like, oh, there's food in there. I was like, there's food in there that has been open to the air. And now you want me to eat it? No. I needed to be covered.
I understand. I feel the same way about pizza when people open pizza boxes and just leave it open. It's like it's not even gonna be hot anymore. I just want to like clarify that was not saying that there was a barbecue and that I just let people eat a bunch of like fly. I had made breakfast sandwiches inside at home, and we decided to take our individual breakfast sandwiches outside. Now, on her own plate, she had an English muffin and a fly landed on her plate. It wasn't like I served all of these people fly laden food, which is, just want to make sure that you're not saying that about, honey, how I entertain outside.
No, I'm not saying that at all. That's not what happened. But thank you for clarifying that up.
Anytime.
And so there's that.
Come hang out with me, Salma. I'm just kidding.
Do you guys not have time to eat until you're live, or is that a thing for you? Do you guys not have time to eat until you're live, or is that a thing for you?
I don't know, but I don't even know Brenda, so I don't like mildly is a shade.
Yeah, and if it is shade, Brenda, just so that you know,
we'll do whatever the fuck
we're bitches. Yeah, like we will live our lives, and you can come here if you want to and talk shit. You can do that, but you can and will be blocked. Also, like, you don't know my life. You don't know what the fuck is happening in my life. You don't know at all from A to Z. Okay?
This is chill, Brenda. Like these are like friends hanging out. This is not Katie Couric and like Oprah like putting on like a pop culture show for you, sitting in like Versace with like Louboutins on my feet. You're not gonna ever see the feed. In fact, you do see my feet often on this show. I just pull it up in a foot. So obviously, what part of our lives right now do you think that we're,
Yeah.
what part of us are giving you a certain?
There's that.
We are something for you specifically. I mean, you're here, you're not here, my loves.
No, Jessie Lee, you can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? I give you the carte blanche. If you do what needs to be done, Tiana. Okay? Y'all do what you need to do. Y'all have the moderator power. You do what needs to be done. Okay. The next topic we are going to talk about today. I don't know what accent is that. Well, it's mine right now. Okay, so we're going back to Chrissy Teigen because this was all over everything. So remember a couple weeks ago we talked about Stodden, Chris something Stodden, the person who Brittany Stodden, Courtney, Lisa, Mary, Courtney Stodden was a child who mother somehow finessed her into marrying some older actor, and she was on Twitter at a young age, and Chrissy Teigen was like, anybody can catch these hands, and came after Stodden. And Stodden then called her out recently. Chrissy apologized, not to be confused with Chris Farah. Chrissy apologized for it, and then she, everyone was like, okay, she's doing well. Chris Farah was like, I still don't trust that hoe. And we're just like, okay. And so we moved on. But then it comes out that Chrissy Teigen also shaded this person, who is Michael Costello, who was a cast member on Project Runway. And a disgruntled worker or disgruntled like assistant of his left and then created all these fake tweets or did something to ruin his image. And Chrissy Teigen hopped on the bandwagon and proceeded to destroy Michael Costello. And then even when Michael reached out to her in private DMs saying, hey, that's not what happened. Please, I'm like I'm feeling suicidal. Like I'm having it, like, just all this stuff. Chrissy was like, no, you deserve it. You're, I don't know what it was, racist or woman hating. It was one of those things, one of those triggers. And he ended up losing quite a lot of money because Chrissy Teigen wouldn't stop attacking him even after he, told her that it was not real. And so now she's really having to come, like, I think it was one thing when like it was Courtney Stodden, but I don't know, now it's like the ball is rolling and she's like, I've apologized to everybody. And Michael's like, I didn't receive an apology. My apology. So that's not what's going on. And oh my God, poor John, whatever his name is, his wife is under fire. And what do? You just have to sit back and let it happen. He can't protect her because she was out in these streets talking real reckless to minors and ruining people's careers.
Yep. So a lot has happened since. So let me just so having said that, there are rumors. MediaTakeout.com said that John Legend is looking to like divorce Chrissy. Now, having said that, then people have now come out against Michael and saying, "Oh no, you're racist." So Leona Lewis was the first one that came out and was like, I was at a charity. I was asked to walk at a charity. I know I have so much more gossip for you. I was asked to walk at a charity fashion show. And when I got there, he was assigned my designer, and I like he was there, and we like did an initial fitting, but she felt as if the piece that he wanted to wear didn't fit her because she was maybe a little bigger than the sample size, and that they were unwilling to change the dress or do whatever it took, or made her unwilling to compromise and make her dressed for this, so that she ended up. So then she goes to another fitting and he's like not there. And then, so she doesn't walk in the charity fashion show, and it's like horrible. So this is now, she says, all right, so this is all happening in the news. I'm going to share my Michael Costello moment. So she details this in an Instagram post, and then he reacts and is like, oh, I'm so confused by that because I couldn't make the second fitting, but I gave you options. This is what he said. So I mean, another one. And also B, since then, I love your team, and your team has reached out to me over the years to dress you, and I have, and then like gave receipts of that. Okay. So then Phelan of Portia and Phelan and whoever, Simon, I'm so sorry. What is that person's name? Okay, so that person, who's a model, right, very pretty woman, said that she was cast in a Michael Costello show in like when she was 23, and that when she went there, it's something like they were like whispering about her, making her feel horrible, like making her feel unwanted, and then like he came over to her and said that like the day of, like, sorry, we don't actually have a piece for you, and that it was incredibly embarrassing for her and whatever. I mean, it's kind of a confusing story. I don't know how modeling works. I'm like, was there too many? Did they not need enough models? Like, I mean, who knows how that works? Like, now here's the thing. There are allegations that he doesn't dress Black women unless they are A-list, like Beyonce, or he feels like there was like allegations that he was like, yeah, like don't bring me your like C-list, B-list Black ladies.
He's not Black, or not, sorry, not Black, but he's not like Afro-Latino. He's not like
Dominican. He is, I think, I'm 98% sure, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm not sure at all, but I think that he's Persian, and I think he's wearing contacts right here. And the reason why I think he's Persian is A, because I met him. This is so fucking crazy, but I did this like show called, if anyone here knows not Holly Madison, something, God, what is her name? I once did like a pop culture talking head thing with him and Carmen Electra. I have a picture of it.
Wait a minute. Isn't Holly Madison one of the Playboy bunnies from?
Oh, no, it's not Holly Madison. It's Madison some.
I have no idea, and I've known you. I don't know what they were.
I did it once. I have a picture. I know. I have a picture.
Let's jump back to something that Vivi said, which I find to be very important. Her roommate in LA delivered groceries to the Teigens and Legends, and they didn't tip. Fuck them.
How do you not tip if it's through an app? Like,
no, I don't. Listen, I am a poor person, and I make sure that I tip 20% baseline bottom, no matter where I go. I mean, it would have to be terrible. I had a massage yesterday, and it wasn't as good. Like, I could tell that Jose was not feeling it. And the way he said 2-hour massage to me, he was like, so what are we going to do on your 2-hour massage? As though like it was too long. And I said to myself, if this place has 2-hour massages, sir, I will take it. So you will not shame me and make me feel bad for wanting to do a 2-hour. And then I said, he's like, oh, how are you today? And I said, oh, I'm fine. How are you? And he said, I'm okay. And I said, oh shit, this is bad energy. This man's going to be massaging bad energy into my body. Now, I've been to Jose before, and normally he's a lovely person. And normally I tip more than 20%, but I just gave him 20, and he's not going to know the difference. But in my spirit, I knew the difference. And it was an extra like $40. because of this massage. So like, you need to tip rich people. You need to tip. Whew, Monica, you ain't never told the truth. The pedicurist. The only reason why I didn't tip the pedicurist 20% was because there's a lot of outside of the lines happening right now, and I just was like,
let me see.
You can't see from there. I'll have to show you in person. But like the person who did my nails, she did such a much better job. But anyways, there's that, and I hate them for not tipping.
Okay, well, yeah, I hate them. I mean, I people also say that John Legend. I mean, this is just a thing. I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. I don't know.
You normally I don't like to disparage Black people. However, I just am like, you don't tip. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you have anything else to say about? We were trying to figure out if he's Persian or not. Is that kind of like?
Yeah, and I think the reason another reason why I thought it was Persian is that I sort of like Instagram follow a lot of like the loud, in your face, like glam luxury Persian peeps. There's like an Instagram crew, if you will, and they're fun to follow. And so he's always dressing them in such a way. And I feel like I've even seen like maybe just like Persian like greetings or stuff on his Instagram. He was very nice when I met him. He obviously would have rather taken a picture just with Carmen Electra and him. And I was just like, cool, I'm here too, but he did give me, I know this sounds crazy. He did give me I think I have his personal cell phone number.
Wow. Isn't it crazy? I look in my phone book and I realize that I have numbers from years ago because I've had the same number.
Yeah.
For 21 years.
Yeah.
And so all I've done is in the same company. So I didn't even switch companies. Since T-Mobile first came out, I've had T-Mobile. And it is just like, I'm like, oh, I have that person's number? Like, I go, oh, I have 3 numbers for this person? Meanwhile, here I am with my one number for all of my life. Anyway, so Marie wanted to know what's Chrissy Teigen's thing. Apparently, she was a model. Again, I didn't know her until she had like a cookbook. And then the fact that she like talked about 90 Day Fiancé once, and the 90 Day Fiancé world was so excited. And when I say the world, I mean like those of us who'd recap were very excited that she had retweeted or like, shown that she watches it. So like we know Seth Rogen watches 90 Day Fiancé. There's another celebrity that was like, oh, you watch 90. It's not Salma Hayek, but it's a dark-haired beauty, and I can't remember who it is. They watch 90 Day Fiancé. Yeah, so we like know, it's a big deal in that world when we figure it out. Oh, look, Lisa did the search for us. Lisa said, I saw who did the research. Amina did it. Costello's father is Italian-Hungarian. His mother is Greek, Romani, and Russian. Oh. Neither Black nor Persian. He is just such a mix of like dark and light European that we were a little confused for a moment. And now we're back.
What's Greek Romani?
That's Romani are we're not supposed to use this word anymore, but Romani are the gypsies. We're not supposed to call them that. But I don't know any other way to describe them. That's what their real name is Romani.
So there's Greek. Okay. So he's
he's Romani, but his Romani people are Greek. So that's
okay, yeah. Now, what if I just texted him that? Like, hey, it's been 6 years, maybe 4 years, 4 to 6 years since the one time I met you. Heard your name in the news. Quick question. Are you Greek gypsy? Is that what it is? You're Greek gypsy? That's cool.
But yeah, so I want to know so much more about the Romani people, and like because they're like Indian by like I read somewhere that they are like before they hit Europe, they're Indian, like from India.
Yes.
And they like caravanned and walked and like made their way up into Europe, and like I mean they had to go through unless they got on a boat, girl, they had to go the long way around. You know what I'm saying? Like they had to like here and then like up and then this way a little bit and then like over into the stands like Uzbekistan and Pakistan and then like Turkey and then like it's a whole trip.
Yeah, no, literally it's a trip. Great. Okay,
Oh,
what's
yeah,
next?
literally, it is a trip. Okay, so the next thing we are going to talk about, let me take this comment down. There it
I
is.
miss my big fat gypsy wedding, you guys. Like just talking about, gypsies. Like we're not supposed to say that, but I'm saying there was a time, you guys know, on TLC, because we watched TLC a lot. We know each other. My big fat gypsy wedding, and then subsequently Gypsy Sisters, which is like such a crazy show, and one of those shows where you didn't have to watch any of it, and then you would just fall into a marathon and be like, well, I could watch this the rest of my life. Because my big fat gypsy wedding was like a wedding story, but only gypsies, and so each one different wedding, but they're all going to always the same wedding designer. It's the patina tournée of the gypsy world. It's this other wedding designer, and everything is like over the top glitz and craziness, and they're always just like so much drama, and it's just like then the wedding is always like Jerry Springer. It's like a wedding story meets Jerry Springer with an ethnic component, and this ethnic component is just like this, like, you all look, yeah, we don't know. I mean, for modern Americans, we don't know a lot of the gypsy culture. It's just like they're an insular people, kind of like fundamentalist Mormons. Like, it's just because of their insularity, unless you were like in that world, it's like somewhat very, very, foreign to the regular old Americans like Wa and I, so Wa's mad. Look at Wa in that wig right now. I can't even stand it. So, but like, yeah, like they never talk about gypsy food. Like I never get to know, like, okay, like are you making like a traditional gypsy meal? Like they always talk about like gypsy culture is the women stay home and like clean, and everyone kind of has brown hair most of the time and like kind of smaller features, like I can't decipher any, like, but then there's also this like somewhat aggressive, violent element of drama that happens. But I think it was just also reality show producers taking advantage of people wanting to be on reality shows and then really bastardizing their culture for our entertainment, which is not the first nor last time that will happen. And I bought into it. So, but what a crazy show. And my whole point of this is that, yeah, Tay, I miss that show so much. And I've even like deep dived into updates about people on it. Like, remember that one really pretty girl that was like 17 who had like the dad? She became a wrestler. Anyway.
Oh, well, good for her. You know who also became a wrestler? Paula of Roos and Powell.
Is she, when she's not in the van?
Yeah, they're doing a lot, those two. All right, so here's a real thing that happened in the world by a real person. So this woman is a nurse from the UK who 17 minutes prior to this 83-year-old person dying in the hospital that she worked, she went to the vending machine and got some chips and soda using that woman's debit card. Now, how she got caught is because then, 17 minutes after death and 17 hours after death, Mama was still just using that card to buy little things here and there. And I think the family at some point was just like, Granny's dead. Who's using Granny's card? Is what happened. And so, I mean, I don't know exactly where in the UK it is. I'm just assuming that it's England. And so this woman was arrested. And so I guess now it's like is it wrong? Yes. Is it kind of brilliant? No, it's not. It's not. It's wrong.
How is it brilliant if she's obviously going to get caught? There's not a chance in hell
she has done it that one time, 17 minutes before the woman went on to glory.
Yeah, but think about it. If you were researching the thing, you're like, that's weird. Granny was dying. She wasn't walking around being like, get me some Skittles, like.
But what if she was like, babe, thank you so much for all your work. Babe, thanks so much for taking care of me. I feel the end coming near. Go get yourself some crisps and a pop. What if that's what happened? What if like they had this like cool relationship where the woman is just like, I hate my children. Go ahead and get yourself some chips and a drink.
Okay, I want all of these people to be my grandmother, but I will say this is why it's the dumbest thing ever. She stole an old woman's credit card and gonna go to jail for snacks.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. Like, that's why I'm like, it's dumb that she used it afterwards, but 17 minutes before.
I love Cheez-Its, like truly love Cheez-Its, and I love the extra toasted Cheez-Its, honey, and I love peanut butter pretzel nuggets. You know, I love them. Now, this person over here, this person likes Sahara Desert dry ass pretzels with nothing else on them. So it's like she would literally kill me, take my credit card, and like ransack a machine for rolls golds or whatever the hell it's called. Okay. Now, having said all of that, I still love her. I think this woman also said that when they came to arrest her, that she found the credit card and she just thought it was hers. And she also, one more other thing, refused to apologize. She gets arraigned. She gets arraigned. And they're like, do you have anything to say? She's like, I don't want to speak about it. I don't want to talk about it. Instead of being like, I'm sorry or like that. Like,
well, maybe she can't say she pled not guilty. Then she can't say I'm sorry.
It was off, but okay, I guess you're right. But like, it's just this person feels like that kind of like entitledness that we've gotten a lot of. Like, remember like the Maya Ponsanto, who was like there was like those two people. It was the one person that like was a nightmare to like that like magician's son in a New York hotel, the Arlo Hotel. Forgot that woman's name. And then there was two entitled women of 2020 that like were horrible. I remember, for some reason, I remember Maya Ponson. She did something. I can't like remember that was a huge news story. You guys know what I'm talking about. She feels like one of those type of people that's like entitled and has been doing bad behavior her whole life, has gotten out of it for some way, and then just like now is like doing this and feels like she has no accountability. It's not her fault for some reason. And it's like, you stole a different woman's credit card for chips, you dumb bitch. I mean, you're dumb, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
She's definitely dumb. She's definitely dumb. I don't condone this. Let me just say I don't condone it. And it was just a joke. And I like, sorry if anyone's going to walk away thinking like, well, I was like still from the invalid and still from the elderly. Like, absolutely not. Just the idea, like if this were to be something that I would see in like the movie or the show, like Nurse Jackie or like some kind of comedy show, like I would think this is hysterical. That like, that the person's like, Marie, you can't take the lady's debit card. Why? She doesn't need it. She's real nice. She told me to come get some crisps. So okay, we got some crisps. I bought her some too. She can't eat it, but I bought her some. You know, like if that were the moment, like it, you know, it's just. Just.
Can I write you? Okay, so this is what it feels like. You're begging me to write you a like comedy where you play an English nurse, like a real sadistic English nurse, kind of like a Nighty Night, which by the way, this is not my what I'm into, but if anyone is in here, including Waht, if you can get your hands on a BBC show that happened, I think 10 years ago, there was 2 seasons, maybe even longer. It was called Nighty Night. It is a crazy comedy, degenerate, dark comedy about a female psychopath. And she manipulates people to get what she wants. And it's crazy. I love it. Nighty Night. Anyone else watch it? Steal a little comment you have. By the way, side note is we're 43 minutes into this. I never asked, this was only Waht. Would you mind go ahead and liking this video? Here's the thing. We would really appreciate it. We like you. We would thumbs up you, honey, if you had a video. Whatever you were doing in your video. If you wanted to eat in your video, we'd be like, thumbs it up, honey. Sure, you eat. You do you. Thank you. Eat it up. I'm meeting you up, you know? So love you all so much. Please remember to like, just thumb up this video. We need it. Okay.
There is a show. Is it called Dexter? It was on Netflix and it was starring my favorite, Ricky Gervais. And has he said anything crazy? I haven't seen him in the news lately. So like I say he's my favorite, not knowing if he's like canceled. But even if he were canceled, I would secretly still like him the way I secretly like another male comedian who was canceled a couple years ago, and I'm still like, well, anything he puts out, I'll still buy it. Anyway, so Marie, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank
I
you
love
so
that.
much.
That's so nice.
We appreciate it. You know what, honey writer? Yeah, do you have a good time? Anyways, so Dexter was kind of one of those dark. Oh, okay.
Oh, just to, I just want to say thank you so much, Selena, who said that she watched Naughty Night, and then I also want to say someone else said just so thank you for watching, and then it's like the movie I Care a Lot. Yeah, that's a great movie too about psychopath women, just really good dark women parts. Okay, go ahead, Wa.
Yeah, no, Marie Wiki Gervais is not canceled. I'm just saying I haven't seen him in a while, so I was just wondering if he might be. But Dexter was such a good show, and it was weird and dark and about a guy who's like, it was great. I mean, it wasn't really dark, but it was just like, it was great. It was so good. He's so good. Like some of my best, like some of the people that I admire the most as writers and the most are British, and not necessarily British, like, or European, because they show like real life scenarios and like real people. It's not this like heightened, yeah, we just got out of med school, but we look like movie stars, and now we're in this show, and we're like your residents at this hospital, and we're all having sex with each other, and like we all look great. When like every single time I go to the hospital, I'm always looking for these hot people, and I don't see them. So yes, there's that. All right. So the next topic that we are going to talk about today is this one. So this is a guy that I don't know, but Chris knows this person. He's a correspondent on The Daily Show, and he was married to this person, Tiffany. His name is Rob Riggle, and she's Tiffany Riggle. And apparently they've been estranged. They're going through a divorce. And I don't know for how long, but he has a girlfriend now, and Tiffany's feeling some kind of effing way about it. I mean, this woman has decided that she, you know, she owns him to a certain extent. This is the only way I can think of it. She must feel like, listen, man, you were in my bed and in my body for X amount of years. Will I put up cameras in our second home? Yes, I will, because I need to know what you're up to. This woman is spying on him. And so he like, it was weird because she would like bring up things that there's no way she could have known. And she was just really sloppy about the spying as well. And so he's living in their second home. She's living in the main home with their kids. And I guess, I don't know if it was after he got a girlfriend, but I mean, listen, Chris, if you were married to somebody when they were nothing and nobody, and then y'all grew up together, had a couple kids, got to a certain place in life, and that man and you were no longer making it work, it just wasn't what it was, and then you guys break up, and not near 2 weeks later, I'm not saying this happened, but not near 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever, years later, he has a girlfriend, and you're just like, oh, you have a girlfriend? So you put cameras in your second home that he sometimes has his bitch over at, and you be just listening to him and stuff like that, and then like you actually let it slip that you knew some shit, and then he starts to give out false information like in his home, like having fake conversations with friends and shit, and then you start to tell him that fake information, and so now he knows that you are a lunatic. And listen, I'm a lunatic too, because I see her. I see her.
Yeah. Okay. This is okay. Rob Riggle is a comedic actor, and he is a UCB guy, which I'm so sorry, but is Upright Citizens Brigade, which is an improv and comedy theater that both Wah and I have done things at. There's locations in New York and LA. So literally, this woman, Tiffany, I don't know her at all. But I put everything on her, like that she had the jobs the whole time when he had the improv shows at 10 and midnight. And honey, she was like, don't worry, I got the pizza for us and we'll make it last for like 3 days. I mean, whether this is true or not, then she's with him, has his children. He becomes kind of a huge deal, you know, like you don't know his name, but like he's in a bunch of shit and he's in a bunch of commercials specifically. So he's rolling in money. Okay. So yeah, they have a main home and they have the second home he's living in. So I tell this story to my dad because I think it's like a crazy story. And my dad's first thing he says, and I thought my dad was going to say something about how crazy Tiffany is or defend him. First thing my dad says, well, it's her home too. Of like, she's allowed to put cameras in her home. And I was like, she put the camera in the smoke detector. Yeah. And he had to get professional fucking people to comb his whole house with like, I don't know, one of them beach beep beeps. Not really, but can you imagine to find the smoke detector? One more other part of this banana story. And like, so sorry, this is probably very painful for these people, truly. I mean, but like, this is so crazy, is that he also had $28,000 go missing.
Yeah.
Okay, $28,000 go missing. So he finds, right, this little camera in the smoke detector, and of the thousands of hours of footage on this camera, there are also 2 images. One image of Tiffany counting the money on the bed the day that it's gone, and B, Tiffany installing the camera. But wow. My dad says it's her house. So like, what is the, like, you can have cameras. Okay. You can't, you can, it's like, I'm not quite sure, honey, what the laws are, like what it is, whatever, but it's fascinating. And I don't know what his ex-girlfriend looks like, but in this story, is she 19 and nothing? Is she 19 and nothing, honey? And just like some like, I'm an Instagrammer. I mean, I don't know. I almost want to look it up because I don't want to put this on him if it's not. But like, I feel like me and you were like, Tiffany, honey, like this is a story. I feel like I need to know so much more. And my God, Tiffany, I hope you sell it and like write it out because it's crazy. Tiffany.
So listen. $28,000, which is unaccounted for money, right? Because it's in their home, like safe. They're like underneath the mattress. This is their like emergency fund. Okay. They have $28,000 in cash in a home that they own as an emergency fund. They're doing pretty well. Okay. I have a house emergency fund. You know how much is in that house emergency fund?
600.
Oh, they're usually telling all my business.
Is it 600?
Yeah, it is. But like like it's, and that is me having like forgotten about it and then just coming upon it and being like, oh shit. Cause sometimes what I do is I like, if I don't use cash. And so if I find cash in my wallet, I just take it out and put it in this jar. This is what it is, but mainly it's $100. Like this is the first time. Okay. Anyways, let's just say it's $100. Let's just take away the 600 and say it's $100. I have $100 in cash ready to go at any time. So like for them to have 28,000 is like, where I would like to be someday in my life. But here's the deal. Like I feel, okay, I have a crazy attachment to someone who I should not have a crazy attachment to, all because I fell in love and they didn't stop me. And so now anytime I feel a kind of ways, I text them and then I'm like, you owe me because I was in love with you for way longer than I should have been if you had stopped being a fuckboy and being stupid and just said you didn't like me. But you led me along. So now whatever crazy happens, we're both in this and it's your fault. So I see myself being that kind of person. I am Tiffany. Tiffany is me. Like you're not, no. If we are in the middle of divorce because our lives are not kismet and we would both be happier separated, or we don't know the terms of their divorce. We don't know what's happened. We don't know if he's been cheating. We don't know anything, right? But we're not even divorced yet and you have a girlfriend? How are you emotionally giving to this relationship? You have a whole wife and a whole kids and a mortgage. You have responsibilities and you haven't taken the appropriate amount of time to get over our relationship. As Sex and the City says, you have half of the time that you were in a relationship plus 2 days, says Charlotte, to get over somebody. So if y'all was married for, 11 years, I'm not sure how much they were married, then you need to, before you move on publicly, I'm going to need you to give me 5 years. Okay, before you can move on. 5 years in therapy. No, not 5 years, but like 2 years, and I need you to have gone through therapy. You're not just gonna pick up and move on when we got these kids and I got this body all of a sudden. No, you're paying for my body reconstruction. You're paying for me to have a new home. I don't want this house, sell this house. Like, we need to settle our shit completely before you move on and get a girlfriend. Oh, fuck. Anyways, there's that.
I snotted, yeah.
That's how I feel. So I'm on Tiffany's side, even though it's bananas crazy. I'm like, she's allowed to be bananas. I don't know. She's allowed to be bananas.
I actually don't. I can't tell you. I don't know the whole story, and so I really won't take a side. I just will delight in how crazy it is, and that we know these details. And so because I don't want to pick a side, I would rather wax fantasize about who I think that his girlfriend is and how I think Tiffany is and everything I laid out for you thus far, without having to commit myself to actual opinions or details, because it's we'll never know what actually happened or who the bad guy is, if there is one, or if it takes two bad guys. But I will just say this. God bless those kids, honey. I hope them kids are going, I hope them the kids have some therapists and the kid, because if this is a messy situation, that sucks for them kids. I know what it's like. And you gotta take care of them kids and think about how they're experiencing this. I hope they're being sheltered in some way, but it sounds like there's fire being fought with fire from the parent side. So
Yeah, that is.
If genders were swapped, would you feel the same? No.
If it was a man being crazy with his, well, the reason, one, yes, but also if I were to say no, the reason being would be because a man could physically overtake a woman. And I think we're kind of bred to believe that men have the right to kind of put their hands on a woman, and maybe not consciously, but unconsciously. I don't know. But so my initial reaction is no, I wouldn't feel it. I would feel if he put all this time and energy into this relationship and they had 3 kids together and he thought they were going to be together forever, and then they divorce, she moves out, gets her own place, and he's at home with the kids, not living in the pool house, living in the second home, and then has a boyfriend? No, absolutely no. You're not allowed to move on and get into a relationship with someone else when we're not done here publicly. If you're messing with someone on the side or whatever, obviously they still have feelings going back and forth, and he knows that about Tiffany. It's not like he's surprised. He knows she crazy. There's no way he didn't know she crazy.
Right. But then, so what if she's gotten crazier, honey? He doesn't have to abide by anything. That's why we really don't know what the situation. And no, we don't know that he hit her. So that's not something that I don't think we said, or if we did.
I didn't say that at all.
I know. So I'm just letting someone said that. So no, he did not hit her. I'm not saying you said it, Waht. I don't know if it's a comment or whatever.
Jesus, this is an episode of disclaimers upon disclaimers. Guys, we were just talking freely about something that we have no idea about. None. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to become a...
No, it could have been a comment from someone else in the comment factory.
I get it. I know what you're talking about. I'm just telling everybody, no. Lisa says, I'm married 39 years, life sentence, no chance for parole. Yeah, I'm not sure how long they were together, whatever. But the last thing I want to talk about, this is a couple who were together for, I do know, 11 years, is Carmelo Anthony and Lala are divorced. I guess they have been kind of not living with each other for a couple years. He cheated on her in 2017 and they broke up, and then they've just kind of been moving back and forth. Sometimes they're on, sometimes they're off. And now she's just finally Saka bull. I'm just going to put in the divorce papers for real. So she just filed them. So this is not anything that's a shocker or crazy. He's a basketball player. He cheated on his wife. Also, she's a beautiful woman, and they've been on and off, and she's been living her life and doing what she wanted to do. And now she's just hey, I think I'm good now. I think I'm good. And so I hope that their breakup, I hope that their official, on paper divorce is pretty amicable. They've given it enough. I think they've given it the old college try, the hurrah, They've been together for 11 years, and they have a 14-year-old son together. I mean, they've been married for 11 years. They have a 14-year-old son together. So,
yeah. And, it's interesting because a lot of things. So today, I think on the Shade Room, they released texts supposedly by a woman that claims that he is the father of her kid. It's like brand new. And he is, like paying her, for whatever payments or whatever. So it's like Lala's over, like, I think having any sort of like embarrassment or any sort of like just outside children happening here and there. And also, of course, Lala is very good friends with one Kim Kardashian. And they've been, they had like a thing where they golfed together recently. And I just was like, oh, they're probably just like talking about how they're both getting out of those relationships, Yeah, like, I mean, yeah. I don't know. Relationships are hard and I never want to be cheated on. I would be so upset. I would just be like just really rageful and angry. Like if I had a husband and he cheated on me and if he got someone else pregnant, I mean I'd rip his I would never I would not be able there's not a chance in hell I'd be able to like move past it.
Mm-hmm.
Not one, like even if I had kids with him, I would just be like, well, you ruined everything. You can live with that for the rest of your life. You had a whole family you ruined. Well, at this point, I would suggest that you take, move all your, just start making money for the rest of your life because you're going to pay for all these kids. You're a real kid. All your kids are your real kids, including mine, including the one you just are having, and you're going to pay for them. And I'm going to get you for everything you can. Great. Like I just really will. I'm not playing.
Yeah, I just think it's so silly. Like, you don't have to cheat. This isn't this isn't a time period in which like getting a divorce is taboo or like whatever. Like, talk to me about it. And if you just physically want a release from somebody else, then we need to talk about like whether or not you actually want to be married because you signed up for monogamy, unless you didn't. If we had that conversation before and I was like, okay, good. Like if there's sometimes you want some new, fine. I would like some new as well. Just as long as we're keeping everything above board, the person who you're with knows, so there'll be no outing, no receipts, none of that shit. They need to sign an NDA, as well as if you have a kid outside of this, we are absolutely breaking up because you need to be using protection. Why are you out in the streets just like sharing?
Well,
I didn't sign up to share skin to skin. So whenever I hear stories of like men cheating and like women coming up with like STDs, like wives coming up with STDs, like woo, girl, woo, it just like that is the ultimate. I mean, there's a lot of level of betrayals, but having unprotected sex with somebody who you can't even get tested. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's like it's all levels of betrayal of trust and loyalty and like protection. I mean, this is like health. This is like there's so many things. It's like obviously, yes, if you have some sort of like special arrangement or polyamorous something or other, open marriage, God bless it. Do you. I mean, I'll never get into that. I'm not for that. Like it's not for me. I'm not for that. I really
Wait, I have a question. When you say I'm not for that, you mean specifically it's not something for you. It's not something like in life that you're like, I think polyamory is wrong in general.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't think it's wrong in general. It's wrong. I personally am not a polyamorous person. I don't want to enter into a polyamorous relationship. Most of my like beliefs are this, like I want everyone else to be happy and do what they want to do as consenting adults, and then like, yeah, no, whatever anyone wants to do is fine, truly. About anything, like if there's two consenting adults for doing anything, honey, like let them do it, like, yeah, but no, I'm just like old fashioned. Like, I'm not going to like hook up with a girl, like I'm not going to like, this isn't a situation where like you have like a girl who's going to like bring another girl home. You're going to have threesomes all the time. And if, like, that's just not the lifestyle that you're going to have with me as like, if you're in my SO or whatever. But I think that like, I feel like that kind of open-y polyamorous thing is like just all around us, like, or if I feel like it's because I'm in like LA or Orange County, like I feel like it's all around me, like everyone like always is doing it or whatever. And so I feel like just really like dusty and old being like, I need one person. No, I expect one person, like Whenever I ask my patients if they want an STD screen as part of their annual and they pass because I'm a non-cus, I ask them, are you sure? But do you want me to check? Hint, hint. Yeah, Monica, that's so interesting. I had someone say this to me too or whatever because, yeah, that sucks. But yeah, and no one wants to be like, yeah, no, but it's always good to check. I mean, there are, of course, horrible stories of people realizing they have something and realizing the only way they could have gotten it, of course, was from their significant other because they, so might as well, I guess, get your whole health checked out because that's just, I guess, personal responsibility in some way. I know it's hard though, Monica, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, I literally just had a physical on Tuesday and so I got a blood test or whatever. And they're like, do you want to do STD panel? And I was like, no. And she's but mostly because I have not been sexually active since the last time I got my STD panel. So.
Oh, I get it. I've gone years and I still get it. And I'm like, it could be HPV hiding out there and it could be, I don't know. I get it every time.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, but HPV, I think, don't they do that through like a cervical screening?
I'm not even sure. I think I just early on in my in college life, I had a free clinic on campus. And so they were just like, do you want this? And I was like, yeah, all the time. Just so I know, anytime I enter in any kind of situation, I'm always like, yeah, they're like, when's the last time or whatever. I'm just like, this is what it is.
I would get a PAP. I don't know why I didn't have to get a PAP. I think it's because, usually I do have to get a PAP. I didn't have to get one, which was great. And so, yeah, they would have done HPV with the PAP. But I think I mostly just whatever blood, it was just extra blood they would have had taken out. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just get real weird about it. Let's see. I had a wart on my hand, in my 20s. And I thought I didn't know why or where it came from, but it was right here on my finger. And then I was like, I didn't touch any frogs. Why do I have a wart? And then I looked it up and it was oh, it could be HPV. So for a solid 6 months, I was like, oh, I have HPV. And then I went and got tested and they were like, you don't have HPV. And I was like, but I have a wart. And I was real yeah, I think I have HPV. I was real I don't care. it is what it is. It's just not bothering me. I don't know what it is.
Because HPV, okay, I know this because HPV has different strains. Yes, and one strain of HPV is what, genital warts, or is one strain of HPV it's not herpes. It's
No, it wasn't genital warts. I had a wart here.
I know. No, I know. That's why I'm trying to decipher why you didn't have HPVs, because you didn't have genital warts, which is, I think, the thing that you're thinking of. Because, for instance, there's Monica's going to say this. There's one strain of HPV that gives you warts, and there's one strain of HPV that gives you a higher chance of cancer. Both things are great.
Okay.
But those are so I just know, the two major parts or whatever. So when you get a pap smear and you have HPV, you're checking for the cervical cancer one. Monica just is coming in here, honey, with all the facts. I'm like, yes, thank you, Monica. Several strains are genital, other strains are non-genital of warts. So
yeah, warts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If you increase cervical,
I think I have HPV. Told a coworker, and he was like, and I was like, you can think what you want to. I'm sure you've had chlamydia and all kinds of stuff. I've not had anything but HPV. And it turned out to not be HPV.
Yeah. You can also clear yourself of HPV. And also 1 in 3 people have HPV. And I think I've gotten, anyway. So yeah, a lot of people have HPV and you can clear yourself of it. I'm not exactly sure. It's like an infection. It isn't an infection, but it can like an infection, you can clear it, I think. But then you might always have it. I'm not quite sure. It lays dormant in the body. Here's the thing. Just like we don't give financial advice, everything I'm saying, if you can tell, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying words that I think I've heard around these two things. You do your own research. God bless.
Yeah. Everyone do their own research. All right. So let's move on to the section. We are over an hour and it doesn't feel like it, but hey, let's move into the section where we talk about what we're into. And this week, this is what I'm into. I'm just going to play a little bit of it because I don't want to get flagged. You know, the video where I did the Scar, where I did the Lion King, that got flagged because of the sound of Scar and Simba going back and forth. And I was like, Jesus. They're like, yeah, don't worry about it. You're not in trouble. We're not going to take the video down. We're just going to take all the money from it. And I was like, oh, no, you're not. No. So I just was like, delete it, then remove that bit. So I don't know what that video looks like, but that bit of Scar and Simba going back and forth got removed. It's like, you're going to take all just for this little snippet? Did you think the whole video, a whole hour is about? Okay, anyways, this is what I meant to.
Shit to my face, and none of these hoes finna see me at the bank. And I'ma keep talking all the shit that I want. Not dare one of these hoes come tell me I can't.
That's what I'm into. I'm into the way that they're like twerking on their knee. Like I'm into that. I am so out of shape. I think I can do dances, and I try to get up and do them, and I'm like, oh no, girl, you haven't moved in weeks. So I'm just like, I did it out, bump it, then bump it. Oh, the whole lower half of my body feels broken. I'm into that. It took me a while. You know what? Guys. This is me just being real honest and being real, just like candid and open with you guys. Respectability politics is still deep within my soul. The first time I watched this, I was just like, why does her butt have to be out? Why does she have to be twerking all the time? Like, why? She's so smart. And then I said to myself, Wahima, snap out of it. Like those two things are not mutually exclusive. We are in a new era of Black womanhood. And you don't have to keep your butt in your pants, your cheeks hidden, and you can still get that degree come summer 2021, as Megan is gonna do. It's just hard for me. But then I kept watching it, and then like there was like some think piece about like Megan's brand of like femininity, or was that you, Chris, who said that? Like I don't know, but it was just like she need to let it go. Anyways, there you go.
I love this song. I just want to my favorite lyrics to this song are the following. So what the part that you just said, a little bit before that goes like this. One thing I know, two things for certain. None of these hoes go say shit to my face, and none of these hoes finna see me at the bank, which I love. Like it's like, so like, because like, yeah, it's a really great hater anthem, obviously. So like that part, like it makes me really, really happy. And this is another one of my favorite lyric things she does. She goes, I walk around, okay, and obviously I cannot do it as good as her. So I'm just gonna say it really, really slowly. I walk around the house all day staring at my own posterior. I don't give an F if someone talks behind my back, because the bitch knew better than to let me hear her. And I like both those lyrics. Like when she says it, I'm just like, yeah, because the bitch knew better than let me hear, posterior, it's just fun. It's very fun. I'm like, I know I'm saying it like, but it's like, it's really, yeah, this song is a great song. It's a very, a very good video, like there's it's very provocative is the word, which makes me happy. And she kills it. I mean, she's such a good fun dancer, and lyric wise, I'm into it. I think there are like some critics, they'll be like, oh, it sounds like other Meg songs and maybe specifically Cry Baby or whatever, but I don't care. It truly feels like I'm down for Meg to like give me a song to start my summer, and this is absolutely it. Like I will be singing thought shit like as I'm getting ready, honey. Like, I can't twerk, but I found a way to do sort of a twerking-esque dance that like would fit in the realm of twerking. So now I know how to do that one move, and I feel really great about it.
Is it the one where you're like laying down and you make your cheeks move up one at a time?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's the one where if you bend down and you put your hands on your knees and you go like this. With your
like the butterfly?
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Try and do it?
No.
Okay, good. Because I don't know. Yeah. I love Chris saying, I know I'm saying, it's because like I have to say it right. Sex appeal is a commodity like intelligence or ability. Use it if you got it. Be in control of your own destiny. I mean, yeah, my experience of Meg is like, oh, I want to get Meg's version of like, I love female rappers. So it's like, yeah, she's a female rapper, like not every female rapper like shows their body, like there's Angel Hayes or someone like that who's like or like Young Ma, who obviously isn't like going to show a lot of her booty or whatever. But her booty is, Meg has a great, listen, she can twerk like a goddess, like I don't want to be denied of like seeing someone like Meg with those knees, like not show them, you know, like.
You know what it is? It's hard for me because like as a survival mechanism, I think I was like, you know, respectability politics was pumped into my head. And so like, even like, and this is TMI, even like Black women in pornography, I'm just like, oh no, I can't. Like, I don't like, no, we're above that. Like I hold Black women at a certain standard. And because sex is often used against Black women, like part of my identity at some point was being a non-sexual being or portraying myself as a non-sexual being in the public, like a lady in the streets with a freak and she's like that whole thing, even though all of it is problematic and all of it is wrong. And I love that the fact that women are so much more free with themselves. It's just specifically Black women. Which is why, like, when the whole bonnet thing happened, Bonnet Gate of Monique talking about that, I was just like, part of me is like, I understand where she's coming from. But then at the same time, it's just like, when can Black women be free? Like, when can Black women just walk around looking crazy like everybody else? And then not be, hey, Black women, we've got to do better because then they're going to treat us better. If we, it's that whole idea. Like, they'll treat us better. They won't kill us if we pull up our pants and take off our bonnets and don't show our butts. And so it's a survival thing always in my brain. Anyways, there's that. What are you into?
You know, okay.
She looks left. She looks right.
I know, and I found something, so it's great. I don't know. These are Sugarfina candies. You know, like maybe you saw them in the store. Like there's Sugarfina like shops or whatever. You can get yummy candies, and I got 3 kinds, and this one I'd had before. So if you see this. It is a Sugarfina Robin's Egg Caramels. A rich and creamy caramel egg is coated in premium dark chocolate and dipped in a delicate candy shell. It is so good, and it is so nuanced tasting as a caramel. There's the perfect amount of cocoa in it, or coffee in it, espresso, and like that. It's just enough that you can't taste it, but it adds a depth of flavor. Those things are so good that almost you can't have too much, which is like, most like people say that about chocolate. I'm like, oh, just give me as much chocolate as possible. But these are so decadent and so rich. When you put one in your mouth, it's like, oh, it really satisfied. So I'm going to be honest. Did I have nothing to say until 10 seconds before Waht asked me that question? Obviously. But
I went through my whole thing and you not one point were like, what am I into? Just like shocked once I asked that.
I also really love that, you know, that video. When it came out at midnight, I sent it to you the minute it came out, you know, like, you know, so yeah, not that you stole mine, but I'm also into that video. I think it's really great. I don't know what I'm into other than that.
Okay.
I know. You guys watch Hacks with Jean Smart? You'll like it. Hacks on HBO Max. Hacks.
Oh, you know what to watch on HBO Max, which was so great because the 2 lead characters are people of color. And I'm watching it again for the second time, is Starstruck. It's a comedy. It's like a Brit comedy or British / like New Zealand Kiwi comedy, where the lead, I keep watching it because they keep talking about how he's hot. And I'm like, well, I don't know if he's hot. I don't know if that is the hottest Indian man I've ever seen in my life. However, in the show, he's like a hot Indian actor. And she's just like, I'm not sure if she's Maori, but she's Kiwi. She's like an indigenous Kiwi person from New Zealand. Sorry. She's an indigenous New Zealander. And yeah, and they're just like in London and they have it's like a romantic comedy. And everyone is so good in it, especially the chemistry between her and her like bestie / flatmate. So good.
Oh, does that remind you of You and Cash?
First of all, Cash has got a whole family, okay? This bitch bought a house. She's about to get married after she had this baby. And she's got a kid and she's the second one away. This woman, we are besties in a pocket. And right now that pocket has been blown open. But anyways, no, it was just like, it was just so cute. You know, I moved to a city when I was in my 20s, and I lived there with a friend, and it was all right sometimes. And yeah, so whenever I see like not a coming of age, but like a late 20s story about like love in a big city, I'm always just like into it because that was my life for a minute. So if you guys want to watch Starstruck on HBO Max, I really liked it. And I think it's just interesting because, one, again, the lead characters that are romantically into each other are POC, and you never see that. It's very rare. I mean, I can't even think of where I've seen it like this, and I've enjoyed it so much. And she's like thick, you know, like it's like it's breaking all of the normal tropes. He's like a small, skinny man that everyone keeps saying is hot, and she's just like this curvy woman with great hair. Just like, I mean, the perfect curl pattern, just all the time.
But you obviously don't think that he's hot, by the way that you said that everyone else thinks he's hot, but
I don't, but I'm watching it again so that I can think he's hot. It's just because I'm physically not attracted to men who are smaller than me. Like,
no. Okay.
This why. Like, you can be shorter than me, but if you are physically smaller than me, like if I were to try to put on your jeans and it wouldn't work, it just makes me feel like a wide individual, and I don't want to feel that way.
I could not understand that more as someone who dated someone who was much smaller than them. Okay, I want to say a couple of things that just like wrap up on comments things. A, have you seen Cruel Summer, which I've also heard great things about? I feel like it's a good teen drama and mystery. Have you heard of Cruel Summer, Waht?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and last thoughts on Juneteenth and because it's a big, that is happening.
Yeah, it just became a federal holiday. Am I going to get it off is my question. One, because I take Martin Luther King Day off every year.
Yeah.
I just take it off because I feel like I can't. It's already too much for my people. I just have to be at home. And then Juneteenth, though, I just heard about it last year. And now it's a federal holiday. And so like, I'm like, okay, we can talk about it. But then like a lot of people are saying the pushback is like, we don't want it to be a federal holiday because then it's just going to get like bastardized or not taught the way it should be taught. And are you going to talk about the fact that Texas just had slaves like a whole bunch longer than the rest of the country, as well as like what really was the Emancipation Proclamation? Yes, it did technically free the slaves, but like, what did it do beyond that? Like, it just like set a bunch of people out into the wild to like live. And then like, so it's just like a lot that goes into that. And so are we going to now teach it? How are we going to teach it? Because, they want to police it to make it seem like the US is like, great. And when you really go back and teach the things, you're just like, oh, wow, this is not my culture. That's what happened to me. Like I learned about US history and I was like, oh, no, I'm black. And I'm a descendant of slaves. I am a descendant of slaves. Like it very much makes me like recede back into cultural ties and feeling weird being American, unless I'm outside of the country. Then I'm like, America, God save give me my blue passport and leave me alone. But anyway, so yeah, just how you guys feel about it. I just want to know, is my job going to give it to me off?
Yeah, like it's an interesting time because it's like, if we think about what Americans have done with Cinco de Mayo, which is just like, is basically Taco Tuesday on steroids, right? Where everyone's like just expected to get drunk on margaritas.
But it's not even really Mexican. That's the thing about Cinco de Mayo too. So go ahead. Sorry. I'm going to eat a little bit because my stomach is hurting.
Yeah. So it's like, but we're also in this age now of like not appropriating culture. So like, what is the celebration for Juneteenth for, and how does it get bastardized in a way? Like, what does that mean? So anyway, it is interesting. I wanted to get you to talk about that. And then the other thing that is in the news that I just wanted to say quickly about, even though I don't quite have so much an opinion on this because I haven't seen the movie, is In the Heights came out, right, with Lin-Manuel, and it's which is a musical that he wrote, already went on Broadway before Hamilton. I actually so I've seen the Broadway version. And then the movie version came out with Anthony Ramos, who was in Hamilton, and tells the story of Puerto Rican / people from the DR in general / people of the Afro-Latina heritage that are in the East Coast boroughs, my loves. Like it's that story represented on screen right now here. So, and Lin-Manuel, obviously having written Hamilton, very successful Broadway guy. And then also of the Latinx culture. People have said that they are, having seen the movie, saddened because of the lack of color diversity amongst the people in the cast. That specifically, it seems like all the leads tend to be like lighter skinned DR peeps, and maybe there's like some darker skinned peeps relegated to like the dancing chorus members, but not enough was done to make sure that representation for the many different skin tones and whatnot of people that can be found in like the Afro-Latinx borough to be like represented. I don't know if I said this as correctly as possible as someone who's like very much from California, but like Waht took off her mute. So Waht, what were you going to say?
So what it is, okay, when I first moved to New York, my like Afro-Latino Dominican people were like, you would really like In the Heights, go watch it. Like it was like a thing where like everybody, I was like uptown, East and West, East, Middle, and West were like, yes, In the Heights is great. In the Heights is great. Because it really told the story of like Dominican and Puerto Ricans from New York who speak Nuyorican and who have a whole culture here, but have their ties back to the islands. And so you do have darker skinned Dominicans in it, like homegirl, what was her name? Not Desiree. What's her name? She was in Orange is the New Black. Her name starts with a D. And Dunson. Yeah. So she's in it. And like in Orange is New Black, it's very clear to me that she's an Afro-Latina. And some of the other like cast members are like, yeah, it's clear. But then like now that she's like, a little bit more famous, she looks less dark skinned than she did in like, in Orange is the New Black. She looks less wide nosed than she did then.
Wait, can I say something? Are you telling me in a subtle way that you think that she had a nose job and or bleached her skin, or no?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she looks different. So I don't know what happened. I'm not saying she did anything to herself. I'm just saying she doesn't look like the Afro-Latina that I saw in. But that's what happens to everybody when they get money. And not saying that they got anything done. I don't know. It just like changes the way you like present. And the way lighting hits you. Like they change their lighting sometimes too to kind of like make you more palatable. So they might have changed her lighting. Anyways, and so like there's just the lack of like crazy lack of dark-skinned, clearly Black, African, Latino people was just like kind of wild. And a lot of Afro-Latinas are on Latinx people, Afro-Latinx people are on TikTok talking about it. Like how like they were prepared and not prepared at the same time. They were prepared to see themselves on TV and then just didn't. And so I can imagine that can be super, super disheartening, especially because they're like growing up here, you would think, I don't know where it is anywhere else, but like growing up in Southern California specifically, like the Mexican population here has no idea that there's Black people in Mexico. Like they don't even know that there's Black people in the Dominican Republic. It's bananas. Like the times like I've been out in public and like listening to Spanish or like talking to somebody in Spanish or like responding in English when someone says something to me in Spanish or like helping a lady, even like my dad's cousin Pepito, he was living here. He lived in LA and like Pepito had the same thing. Pepito's straight up from Guatemala. And like, there's a lot of Black people in Guatemala, in Honduras, in Belize, like all of that, all along Central America. But I'll run into a little Mexican lady in the store and she'll be so shocked that I speak Spanish. And I'm like, Madam, how are you shocked? And it's because of the way that like Latino television just completely pushes the darker skinned people to the outside. Maybe if they do have them in there, they make it seem like they're just like foreigners who came to the country and now are speaking Spanish because they live there, not because they're actually like from there. So it's just interesting that there's a large portion of Latin America who does not know that there are descendants of the transatlantic slave trade who are Latino in their culture and are just living their Latino ass lives. You know, it's like Brazil acknowledges it, but the rest of the world is just kind of like, And sometimes even the Afro-Latina people won't even admit to themselves that they're Afro-Latina. They like want to push, they do the paper brown test. They do the good hair, bad hair. They do all these things that are like very, very anti-Black in order to like push themselves away from being Black. But then you have someone like Amara La Negra who comes out and is like, no, I'm definitely 100% Black. Don't try to take it from me, but I'm also Latina, and don't try to take that from me either. So like, it's just really interesting. But, you know, it was that whole thing with when Amara came out and that producer was like, so are you Black or like what, you know? And he was like, you're doing this like sister thing with your afro. And she's just like, but it's that kind of reception you get all the time where it's like, you can't be both. You have to choose.
Well, we talked about every issue that's happening in the world, all of them. And we've settled everything we can. What more do you want from us, honey, besides like Bitcoin accounts? I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Well, you guys, that's it. We're an hour and 30 in. This is the longest episodes thus far. Chris has got to go. I've got to go. I'm on vacation, so I don't have to go. But like, yeah, I'm going to go is what it is. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining us in this episode of Say What with Juan Chris. Excuse me. I'm Waht. That's Chris. She's tired with her whole mouth open. And we're going to sign off and do our outros. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.
I love you so much. Well, you can follow her on not Instagram because she's not on it. But if she ever comes back to Instagram or Twitter, her handle was at Just Call Me Waht. My Instagram and Twitter is at Chris L. Farah. The L is for Lebanese, my loves or loves. And also Facebook has my private Facebook group, Vanity Farah, which we always post before we go live. And I do my lives on Sunday nights. So for 90 Day Fiance. So that's all I have to say for that. I really loved all you guys here. Thank you so much for the comments. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for commenting and engaging and subscribing. Thank you for the super chats, my bays. Thank you to the mods for doing their business. And thank you to Brenda. Okay, so take care of yourselves and each other. Stand up for what you believe and make art. Bye, baby boos.
Bye, guys. See you next week.